Welcome to the Nate Gratian Show, where we talk all things personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. Thanks for joining me here today. I'm your host, Nate Gratian. It's wonderful to have you with us for another episode. I want to let you know that these episodes are now also available as an audio on YouTube. Along with that, on YouTube, we're also doing shorts, and they also end up posted on Instagram, where you can connect with me at Nate Gratian on Instagram there, and message me if you have a question or topic that you'd like discussed on a podcast episode, and then I'll let you know when that podcast is released where we discuss that topic or question that you have. Today we are going to be talking about focus and focusing, two specific points about focus and where we tend to go wrong with focusing and how we can better our focus. See, the thing is where we look, what we focus on tends to be where we go, where the trajectory of our life goes, where we direct ourselves. You'll see this when people are like on the treadmill, for example. They'll be walking. If they turn to the side and they start looking to the side, pretty soon they're going to start going in that direction. So where you look, where you focus is usually where you end up heading. And so what we focus on is really important, but how we focus is important too, that we focus on the right thing at the right time. Okay, so there's two categories, two aspects about focusing that I want to talk about today. The first is focusing in the moment, focusing on the now, and then the second is focusing on the future and where to focus for the future. So let's discuss the first thing first. Focusing on the now, focusing in the moment. A lot of people, they all think about the future, or they think about the past, or they think about anything else other than right now. They don't live in the moment right now. They're thinking about other things. If they're at the gym exercising, they're thinking about what they need to do afterwards. If they're out having dessert and a nice dinner or something, they're thinking about what they're going to have to do in the gym to work that off, essentially. If they're with family, they're thinking about what work that needs to be done. When they're at work, they're wishing and thinking they need to be with family, and their focus is all over the place. But if we can focus on the moment and focus in what we're doing right now, then you'll find that you're a lot more productive in that hour of time. If it's an hour in the gym, you'll be a lot more productive if you're focusing on what you're doing while you're doing it. If you're spending time with family, then spend time with family. Focus on that and be present, be there with them. And so if you're at work, focus on what you're doing at work and be present in there and be focused on what you're doing. And you'll find you're a whole lot more productive, you're a whole lot more effective and efficient in that time that you're doing whatever it is you're doing, if you allocate your mind and your focus and all your attention to what it is that you're doing. This is the same if you're talking with someone, having conversation with someone. Pay attention. I know it, focus on what they say. Focus on what's being said in the conversation. I know it sounds obvious to do that, but so many times we'll be having conversation with someone and, our attention's off this way or that way, or thinking about other things. And I know there's a lot that goes on in our life, but if we can discipline ourselves and teach ourselves to focus in the moment and focus on what we're doing in this moment, it makes a big difference. The second is focusing on the future. It is important to, yes, focus on the moment, but you need to also plan for the future. Okay, and so take some time out of your week, some time out of your month to plan for the future. If you're talking finances, then you'd be talking about making sure you do a budget and plan what you're going to do with the money that comes in and what you're going to do with it. If you're talking like health and fitness, then at the beginning of the week, plan what you're going to do for exercise. Take some time, focus on that time, and plan what you're going to do for the week as far as exercise and health and things go. And so make a plan for the future. Now, as you make the plan, it is important to focus on what you're going to do, not on what you're not going to do. And so you don't want to say, we'll talk investing in finance, you don't want to say, I'm not going to spend money on this or that. Or in health, I'm not going to eat the M&Ms. Everyone that knows me knows I love M&Ms. And so you're not going to say, I'm not going to do that. Focus on where you want to go. Make your plan on what you want to do, not what you don't want to do. When they train skiers, when someone's training to be a skier, a professional skier, or a skier at any level really, they teach them not to avoid the trees. They teach them to look for the pathway, to look for the route that you need to go, look for the path that you need to go, and head to the pathway. If you find the pathway and you find the route that you want to go, by definition, by default, you will miss the trees. You will avoid the trees. But if you're focusing on trying to avoid the trees, chances are you're going to end up wrapped up around one of them, with your skis sticking out either side. And so focus on where you want to go. Focus on the pathway, on the plan. Let your plan direct where you want to go. No, don't let it be a plan of what you don't want to do. And so there'll be a plan of where you want to go, what you want to do, and you'll find you do that you'll end up doing that, and you end up avoiding the trees, missing the trees. Your mind can't, the reason this works is because your mind can't comprehend a negative syntax or a negative sentence structure. When I say I'm going to go home and I'm not going to have any M&Ms, my mind hasn't picked up the not. It's just picked up M&Ms. And so what I need to do is say I'm going to go home, and what I'm going to have. I'm going to go home and I'm going to have a protein shake, or I'm going to have something else, right? Tuna wrap or something like that. I'm going to have this or that, and it shifts my mind from what I'm just trying to avoid to not what I'm trying to avoid, but to what I'm going to do. And it provides a pathway for me to actually take. And so I come home and I say, well, I'm going to have a protein shake. And that's what I fix, that's what I prepare. Then I don't end up eating the M&Ms. But if I haven't provided the pathway and all I've got is a negative syntax, a negative sentence structure where I say I'm going to go home and not have any M&Ms, there's no pathway there. I'm just saying what I want to avoid. And you can try and repeat that over and over and over again. But the chances are, more often than not, if you do that over and over again each day, more often than not, I've discovered for myself and with other people that you will go home and have the M&Ms. Or at some stage in the afternoon, you'll break down and you'll have the M&Ms. And so, tell yourself what you're going to do. Tell your mind what you're going to do, not what you're trying to avoid. That is so important when you're planning for the future. It's the same with your investing. When you say out of each paycheck, this is what we're going to do. And this is, not, well, we don't want to spend money on this. We got to stop spending money on this. No. Say this is what we're going to spend money on. This is how we're going to use the funds that we're blessed with, that we've worked for. This is how we're going to use it. And then set it aside, and you'll find you use it for that. So focus in the moment, focus on the pathway and the plan ahead, and you'll find you're a lot more efficient. You'll enjoy the dessert a lot more in the moment. You'll enjoy the company with people when you're out at dinner. You'll have a more effective workout. You'll be more efficient at work. You'll have better quality of time with family at home, and you'll be much more effective if you focus on the moment. And your plan is not to just try and avoid trees, but your plan is to find the pathway and go to the pathway. Thanks for joining me here today. I hope you enjoy the episode. If you do enjoy these episodes, I'd love it if you gave me a review, gave me some feedback, share it with friends and family. And if you haven't connected with us on YouTube, it's just the Nate Gratian Show on YouTube, and we put our podcasts up on there, as well as 1 minute shorts about the stock market, about what's happening in our portfolio, different things like that, about 4 or 5 of those each week. But yeah, thanks for joining me here today, and we'll see you in the next episode.